Hi, my name is Rebecca Kraemer from Innovative Bodywork and Yoga, and this morning we're going to do a very gentle flow, and it's especially geared towards those who are having any sort of forearm, wrist, or hand issues. We're not going to be putting any significant pressure on the hands today. If you don't experience issues from carpal tunnel or any issues with the hands and arms and wrists, this is still a really great video to help you kind of unwind, open up for either the beginning of the day or settle in for the end of your evening. This is a great class for all levels of yogis. I do recommend, if you have it at home, using a block. You could also use a couple bolsters or a few pillows. And a strap if you have one. I'm actually using a TheraBand today, but you can use a belt, a scarf, a more traditional yoga strap, whatever you have at home. So I like to begin all of my practices with some sort of pranayama, a breathing exercise. And to help us get focused and settled today, let's do some alternate nostril breathing. So find a nice comfortable seat. You most likely will want something underneath your sits bones. I'm going to use a block. That's a bit hard for some people. You may prefer to use a pillow. So I'm just going to place the block directly under my sits bones here. Just get myself centered on it. I'm going to make sure to lengthen my spine and maybe rock a little forward and a little back so I can really feel where that center is. Once you have your comfortable center, just close your eyes for a moment, relax your hands on your knees, and take a nice big inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. We'll do this one more time. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And one last time, and on that inhale, really feel the crown of your head reach towards the ceiling as the sits bones lower down into that block or pillow. And exhale. And slowly open your eyes. Now that you have some length in the spine, we'll go ahead and start our breathing exercise this morning. So there are a couple different hand positions for this. Do whichever is appropriate for you. You can do the hang 10, where you've got your thumb out and your pinky finger out, or the more traditional way to do it is to use your ring finger and your thumb. I'm using this on my right hand. Some who are very traditional say right hand's the way to go, but I say if you prefer your left, do what feels right. So with the right hand, we're going to cover the right nostril, and we're going to inhale through the left nostril and then hold. So inhale, pause, cover the left nostril, release the right nostril and exhale through the right nostril. Pause, inhale through the right nostril, pinch and pause, release the left nostril and exhale. Pause. Inhale through the left nostril. Pinch and pause. Release right and exhale. Pause. Inhale right. Pinch and pause. Exhale left. Pause. Inhale left. Pinch and pause. And now continue at your own pace. So again, we are inhaling through one nostril, pausing, and exhaling through the opposite nostril. If you've never done this before, it can be a little confusing, so just try not to get frustrated with it. Take your time. And after you've exhaled through the left nostril, release your hands and just breathe naturally through both nostrils. On your next inhalation, open your eyes and just feel how things have shifted for you here. When you're ready, we're going to remove whatever you're sitting on, block, pillow, place it behind you. And now we're going to come to one end of our mat. And you want to come so that you're pretty close to the end of the mat. The point here is that the legs are going to be free to wobble. And let's start by just having the feet on the floor at any sort of comfortable angle for you. And we are going to put a little weight on the hands here, but I recommend using the fingertips and keeping it very, very light. So the bulk of my weight, I'm holding myself up by my sits bones. That means you will have to engage the core a little bit. And the fingers are really just there for stability in the back. So get the feet wider than your hips, and we're just going to rock them. So as you bring the knees from side to side, depending on how tight your hips are, mine are pretty tight this morning, you can raise that hip up. You should feel a nice stretch coming in through the hamstrings into the glutes. And really gentle with this. We're just getting started. Inhale brings the legs up, and exhale to drop to the side. Inhale up, exhale down. As you're going, if it becomes more comfortable for you to put palms on the floor, that's fine. Just please be really conscious of not putting a lot of weight into them. And next time your knees come up, just leave them there. I'm backing up a little bit here. And inhale to sit nice and tall. And exhale, we slowly roll back nice and controlled down until we're nice and flat on the back here. Now make sure the shoulder blades are tucked underneath. And you want to try to create as much space here in the upper body through the pecs. I'm going to, with an inhale, raise my arms so that they're spread wide. And ideally on that exhale or on your next exhale, lower the legs so that they're also wide. So you're making kind of this nice star shape on the floor. So inhale here. And as we exhale, the right leg's going to start this movement, and we're going to glide the right leg over the left, and it's going to initiate a twist. So I'm going to inhale to open, exhale, sweep the left leg down and across, inhale to open, exhale, sweep the right leg across, And so you're initiating this twist from the lower body, and just continue at your pace here. As you start to get into it, you can start to push the opposite arm away. So as I move my left leg over, I can kind of push my left arm out. So it's actually the same leg. So we're going to do right leg over, and that twist comes from the right arm as well. So what we're doing here is we're awakening the spine, and we're opening the hips, and we're opening the pecs and the shoulders. This is a nice dynamic exercise. And just let your head go to the same side as the foot. We can wake up the neck a bit. And if you're in a cramped quarter like I am, try not to hit your surroundings. And slowly make your way back to center. If you've moved, you can center yourself on your mat again. Back out into this star shape, and just a nice inhale and exhale at your pace here. So we're going to do another twist, and this time we're going to initiate from the upper body. So I'm going to take my right hand, and I'm going to glide it across my chest. I'm going to actually glide it over that left hand and a bit beyond it. And you'll see that that pulls my torso, my hip, and my leg with it. So exhale, I'm moving my left hand to meet the right and coming past it. And inhale, I'm opening back up into my star shape. Exhale to twist. Inhale to open. And try to really let this movement come from the arms. So we often want to help the twist by forcing things in our low back or forcing our legs to help. Really allow the arm to move the torso. This is a great shoulder opener. So for those of us who sit at a desk all day, this should feel pretty awesome. And just two more. And when you're ready, come back to center. And deep inhale. And sigh it out. Maybe one more of those. So now tighten your core a bit to support your lower back as you bring up the knees. And we're going to bring knees to chest with one hand on each knee. Now, not a lot of pulling from my hands here. I'm really just stabilizing my knees. And I'm going to start to rotate my knees in one direction. And in the other direction. And again, this should all be gentle. We're not doing anything forced today. And hug the knees into the chest. If it's comfortable for you, we're going to come into a happy baby. So if you want, you can just stay here hugging the knees and you can rock from side to side. If you want to take this into a deeper low back stretch and maybe get some hamstring involvement, you're going to lift the feet up so that they are parallel with the sky and reach for the outside of the toes here, the outside of the feet, and rock. So if you're joining me in Happy Baby, then what we're trying to do in an ideal world is to get our thighs as parallel with the floor as possible. For some people who are super flexible, they might even get the knees down pretty close to the floor or to their armpits. So the direction here, again, is knees kind of coming laterally to the sides here and down. I'm not forcing, I'm not pulling. I'm just using my hands to give some additional gravity to the soles of my feet to help open up those hips. And rock. And breathe. Okay, now we're going to bring soles of the feet together. And again, keep that core contracted as we move our legs down. And open the arms out to the side. So, Supta Baddha Konasana, we've got our legs in a butterfly position. And this should feel pretty awesome for most folks. This is a great hip opener, but if this is uncomfortable for you at all, please don't do it. And the other thing you can do to modify is you can actually put pillows underneath the knees so there's less strain there. You can put blocks under the knees. Do what you need to do to feel supported in this position. We're going to take a few deep breaths here. And this is a pose of surrender. So really try to let gravity do its thing and try to let everything go. Yoga teaches us to find that stillness so we can quickly come to relaxation, even in times of great stress. Let yourself surrender. One more big breath. On your next inhale, make sure you've got good core support again as the legs come up. And maybe rock the hips a bit from side to side. Feet can be wide. Very similar to what we did at the beginning, but now we're in a reclined pose. And knees come to chest. We're going to tip to one side. Just take a breath. And bring ourselves up to a seated position. So I'm going to turn to face the camera. You would ideally be staying on your mat in the other direction here. And we're going to do a little bit more to open up the hips. But before we do, let's go ahead and work on those forearms, wrists, and hands, which is a big reason of why we're here. So since we're going to be in a seated position for a little bit, if you are more comfortable having support underneath your sits bones, then I encourage you to do that. I personally am going to sit on a block. And again, taking my time to ensure that I have a nice balanced seat, that my spine is long. I want my chin tilted slightly down just to allow for the natural curve of the spine. So once you've found your comfortable seat, I want you to take your right hand, your right arm, put it in front of you, and make sure that the elbow crease is pointed to the ceiling. This is a position that we're going to be in throughout this forearm exercise. So anytime that you see yourself kind of dragging, make sure that you spin that shoulder out so that you're creating that crease going towards the ceiling. And we're going to put our hands up here. So we're going to be stretching our flexors. So to start, I'm going to have that nice straight arm, hand up, and I'm going to gently take my left hand and put it over the fingers of the right hand. And I'm going to breathe 3 times. And now I'm going to take a hold of just the index finger and the same thing, 3 breaths. And we move to our middle finger. 3 breaths. And now just drop the hand for a moment and shake it out. Get up into that shoulder with your shake. And bring the hand back up. We're moving on to the ring finger. 3 breaths. And pinky finger. And now we're going to circle back and grab our thumb. And drop, shake both wrists, get into the shoulder, shake it out, shake it out. Alright, moving over to the left arm. So left arm straight, crease pointing to the ceiling, hand flexed, and we're going to grab a hold of our 4 fingers up top and stretch those flexor tendons as we take 3 breaths. And taking a hold of just the index finger. And middle finger. This is really great for those of us who are typing all day, for anyone who shares my profession giving massage, people working with their hands, carpenters, if you're a rock climber. And drop and shake it out. And back up, ring finger. This exercise can also be done at your desk chair during the day. And I highly recommend it before you do any of this very hand-intensive exercises. And pinky finger. And shake it out. And we've got to come back for our thumb here. So it's a common bad habit to do this exercise and just kind of keep your elbow loose. It's important to remember as we do this work with our hands that all of the muscles that control the hands actually live in the forearm. This is why often our forearms will be tight when we've been doing very detailed work with our fingers. So especially those of you who are suffering from carpal tunnel syndrome, when the carpal tunnel around the wrist is getting dried out and getting tight, it's putting pressure on those tendons. So these exercises are going to help loosen up that carpal tunnel, loosen up the tendons, and create less inflammation here and additional circulation. Now we're going to move to stretching our extensors. So the right arm again is going to come straight. The elbow crease is going to be facing the ceiling, and this time we're going to face the hand down. So I'm putting my fingers here on the back of the palm, the back of the hand, and my 3 breaths. And this time I'll do thumb first. And index. Make sure you're keeping your spine straight. Shoulders back and down. Middle finger. Shake it out. Feel that one. Back up. Ring finger. And little finger. And shake it out. Up into the shoulders. So you take a couple shoulder circles here. And forward. And other side back. And forward. Okay, moving into the extensors on the left hand. So arm up, elbow crease up, and I'm grabbing the back of that hand here, nice and wide grip, and my 3 breaths. And thumb. You'll see that I'm alternating sometimes between breathing in the nose and out the mouth, or in the nose and out the nose. You can play with that and see what feels like more of a release for you. And first finger. When I get to a very stiff area, that's when I tend to like to breathe out my mouth. Like that was kind of zinging up my forearms. I'm going to take an inhale here. Let's get that out of my mouth. Middle finger. And shake it out. And arm back up, moving on to the ring finger. And pinky. And shake it out. Go ahead and remove whatever you're sitting on if you opted to sit on something. Just going to shake the legs out for a moment here. Maybe flip-flop the feet. And I'm going to come back in. Actually, go ahead and reverse whatever cross you had before. And we're just going to do a couple very mild spinal twists here to wake that spine back up. So I'm going to tenth my right fingers next to my glutes here. On an inhale, I raise the left arm. And now I'm going to slowly twist open to the left. Raise it again. And now twist over to the right. Left hand comes to the right knee, and that right hand is going to come back. And you may have just seen me drop my left shoulder. Really try to create that space between the left shoulder and the ear. Next inhale, we come back to center, nice and tall. Tent out the left fingers. And inhale brings the right arm up. I'm going to first open up the pec to the right. Inhale again. And now bring that right arm across to the left knee. And the left hand comes back and gets tented in back. Drop that right shoulder. Ground in your hips. This twist should be coming from the torso, not the hips. And inhale, unwind. Sit tall. Exhale. So now go ahead and take the right leg and put it over the left. So the right foot is about on or near the left knee. If this is uncomfortable for you, please don't do it. Just go ahead and stay in a cross-legged position. So I'm going to come to Anjali Mudra, hands at heart center. Take a deep breath here. And I'm going to hinge at my hips. So this is often the tendency here is we want to round the back. Try to stay upright. And what might help is if you take your index fingers and you put them into your hips. And imagine that those hips are kind of moving back as your torso is coming forward here. This is just a nice hip opener. It's another modification of pigeon. When you've gotten about as far as you feel comfortable with, then I want you to walk the left arm out so that it's in front of the body and at an angle. And we're going to take the right arm, and if you feel on your right arm, you've got a nice bone here in the forearm. And so we're going to take that and put it on top of the left tendons here, and we're going to push down. So an inhale to come back up. You want to start nice and high at that elbow crease. And exhale, I'm using my body weight here, not my shoulder, to push down. So this is pushing me more into that nice hip stretch. I'm getting a stretch in my back. And I'm also smoothing out the extensor tendons that are on my forearm here. And you can go ahead and flip that left arm so that your flexor tendons are now face up. And we're going to still use that bone on the right to push forward. It's normal here if your fingers curl, especially if your forearms are tight. So I'm exhaling with every push. And one more time. Wonderful. And inhale to come up. Legs come out, shake them out. And now cross your seat. So if you're just going with a cross-legged position, that's fine. Just reverse the legs. If you'd like to take it deeper, you can stack the left leg on top of the right with your foot flexed here. Both feet ideally would be flexed. That's going to give you stability in the knees. Hands come to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Inhale, nice and tall. And you can either leave your hands here or drop them to your hip flexors as we bend forward. Again, flat back here, reaching, reaching, reaching. When you come as far as you can with your flat back, place the right arm down and at an angle. Left arm, we're going to take that radius bone, the one that you can really feel. It feels sharp on the side here. And on an exhale, I lean into my hips and press down. So again, I do not want to be pushing with my shoulder. I don't want to be pushing with my arms. I'm pushing with my entire body weight from my torso. This is deepening my hip stretch. And it's also driving that weight into this wonderful extensor smushing that we're doing here on the forearm. And one more time for good measure. And if this is your first time doing something like this, it's normal to have to play around with how your bone meets your arm. Go ahead and flip that right arm over. So we're going to work on the flexors now. So you can play with the angle. Some people like to actually twist a little bit. I find that that puts more strain on the forearm, and the idea here is that we want to actually open these guys up. We don't want to cause more strain. And just one more time here. And inhale brings us up. And exhale, extend the legs, shake them out, shake out the wrists. And then when you're ready, we're going to just flip over onto our knees. So we're on hands and knees here, weights in the knees, not in the hands. I tuck my toes under, and I'm going to gently rock back on my toes and extend the hips up towards the sky. So now we're in a forward fold. Breathe here. Nod the head no and yes. Maybe shake out in the shoulders. You can grab the elbows and just let gravity pull you closer down. See if you can rock your weight. Do you get a better stretch if your weight's in your toes? Do you get a better stretch if your weight's in your heels? What about if you're perfectly centered? Play with that. Don't worry if you can't straighten your knees all the way. Just do what you can do. And we're going to drop the hands. On your next inhale, slide the hands up to the knees, come to a flat back, open your chest, and exhale to forward fold. And now tighten the abs, the lower abdomen here to support the low back, as on an inhale we're going to roll up. Hands come up with the shoulders, gaze comes up. Look up, and hands come down to heart center, Anjali Mudra. I'm just going to turn to face you here. On an inhale, raise the arms. Grab the right wrist with the left hand, and now we're going to push out that right hip as we bend over to the left. Please don't grip hard with the left here. It's really just a guide. Inhale to come back up. Switch to the other wrist. And exhale, push out that left hip as we bend over to the right. And inhale, come up. And exhale, drop the arms. Inhale, bring the shoulders to the ears. And exhale through the mouth. Inhale, shoulders to ears. And exhale through the mouth. One more time. Inhale, shoulders to ears. And exhale through the mouth. Roll the shoulders. Roll them out. And switch directions. And we're just going to open up the neck here. So standing nice and tall, just take a little inventory of your body here. You want those hips to be coming down in the back. So for those like me who have more of a hyperlordotic curve here, see if you can tilt your pelvis down in the back, forward in the front. So we're kind of taking that pelvic bowl and we're leveling it out. And then see if you can stretch the spine up from there. Chin remains slightly tucked so that you can get the greatest length in the back of the spine. And just one more inhale to lengthen here. And as you exhale, tip the right ear to the right shoulder and extend that left hand away from your body just a little bit here. So you're getting a nice stretch now through the back of the spine, down through the shoulder, and possibly even through the arm, depending how tight you are. If you're up for taking this deeper, with your right hand, bring that to the left side of the head and allow it to very gently bring the head down. Again, nothing is forced here, especially if this is first thing in the morning. On an inhale, release the right hand, bring the head up to center. Shake it out a little bit. Come back to center, inhale nice and tall. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Extend the fingertips on that right hand. And if you want to take it deeper on an inhale, bring that left hand up to the right side of the head. And just deepen that stretch. Again, it's really just the weight of my hand bringing the head down. I'm not pulling with that left hand. And on an inhale, drop the left hand. Raise the head. And if you're like me, you might feel this new sense of expansion in the neck. My neck feels instantly longer. We're going to do another variation of that. Before we do, you might want to just nod, no, and yes. Just loosen that neck up, maybe a couple neck rolls. And switching direction. And back to center. Inhale, come nice and tall. And now on the exhale, we're going to tip that right ear back to the right shoulder again, but now I want you to turn slightly up. So your gaze is a little towards the ceiling. And all of a sudden that stretch should have moved from the side of the left neck to kind of more the front. We're actually stretching out our sternocleidomastoid, our SCM, that giant muscle that you feel in the front. We're stretching out the anterior scalenes, the pecs. So from here again, I'm going to stretch my left fingers away. And if you want to take this deeper on an inhale, bring the right hand up. And now we're actually going to put the fingertips kind of on the left side of the forehead here. For those of you dealing with seasonal colds, allergies, asthma, this is really nice to open up those extra muscles of inspiration. On an inhale, drop the hand, lift the head, breathe. So these muscles in the front of our neck, they're accessory muscles to our breathing. So when we're sniffling and sneezing, we're often really using those muscles. You can see them kind of pop out here. So this is an awesome way to let these guys go. So inhale nice and tall. And exhale, tip the left ear to the left shoulder. And now tilt your gaze and your chin slightly up to the ceiling. So you can see the ceiling now. And that stretch should have just transitioned to the front of the neck. And we're going to reach that right hand away from the body. To take it deeper on an inhale, left arm comes up. Fingertips come to the forehead. And again, just gentle weight here. No straining, no pulling. And breathe. On an inhale, drop the fingers. Reach the neck back up to the sky. Nice and straight. And now some no's. And some yeses. And a nice circle to one side and back the other way. Roll the shoulders out, shake the arms out, shake the legs out. And I'm going to give you an option for this next exercise. So coming back to center, feet hip width apart. I'm going to, on an inhale, raise my arms, and I can either stay like this or I can come to my tiptoes. My ceiling's a bit low for my tiptoes. And now let the arms come back and down. And gaze is up to the ceiling. And inhale, arms come back up. And heels come down, palms come to heart center. And we're going to take that idea a little bit deeper. So grab your strap. I'm going to double my strap up. And I'm going to make sure that it's at a good distance here from my shoulders where it's not causing strain. And actually that is a little too tight for me, so I'm going to single it. So you don't want to cause strain, but we want a little bit of resistance here. So once you've found that sweet spot for you, stand up nice and tall, inhale, arms come up. And you can either stay with your heels on the floor or come up to tiptoes. And circle sweep the arms back. Be really careful if you need to add more room to your strap, please do. And if you're ready, gaze can come up to the ceiling. So this is great for opening up the chest, opening up the shoulders, and stretching the front of that neck. Inhale, arms come up. And exhale, forward fold. You can drop your strap. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, hands come up to the knees, straight back, offer your chest forward. Exhale, come back down. And now we're going to bend the knees. You can gently balance on your fingertips as you come down to a squat, and eventually come all the way down to your bum. Hold the knees, inhale, straighten up here. Tighten your core to support your low back as you roll down. And find your Savasana, corpse pose. Legs come out. Take a moment to make any adjustments that you need. Shoulders should be tucked underneath the body so that the shoulders are rotated out and your pecs are nice and open to the sky, palms open to the sky. Feet can fall to the side. Low back is flat as is comfortable for you. Eyes closed, and breathe. Savasana is our time to surrender. Let all of your weight fall onto the floor. And know that you are supported. Feel the muscles falling off the bone, starting in the forehead, through the face, eyes deep in their sockets, cheeks, jaw, Let the lips separate as the jaw sinks down. Skull, back of the neck, front of the neck, through the chest and the collarbones, into the shoulders, down the arms. Feel those tendons just melting off the forearms, wrists open, fingers open and relaxed, sinking down, sinking through the mid-back and the chest, through the abdomen, through the low back. Let the organs come to rest. Sinking through the pelvis, through the glutes, the buttocks. Through the thighs, quads and hamstrings, adductors and IT bands. Let it all go. Through the knees, the calves, the ankles, and down through the feet and the toes. Give your weight to the universe and know that you will be carried. Begin to deepen your breath on the inhale. Circle, wiggle the fingers, the toes, the wrists, the ankles. Inhale, bring the arms overhead. Stretch the body from the arms through to the legs. Maybe pedaling the feet. Reaching with the arms. Bring knees up to chest. And rock. And when you're ready, rock to one side and just lay there for a breath. Slowly, with eyes still closed, gently push yourself up to a seat. Hands come to your knees for a moment as you straighten that spine. And when you're ready, hands come to heart center, Anjali Mudra, thumbs grazing the sternum. Bow your head. And we first bow to ourselves in gratitude for coming to this practice today. May you hold what you have gathered in this practice with you for the rest of your day and throughout your week. May you take the time to be mindful of your body and its surroundings. May you extend this feeling of relaxation and love to your environment, to your loved ones, to strangers, and to the universe. Thank you for coming with me to practice today. Namaste.